Well. Hello. Ooh, what was that? Hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. So, of course, I always kind of take a little break, spend time with the family around Christmas time because the kids are out of school. But it is December 31st. That means we are wrapping up 2024, and y'all know I could not come on for the last time in 2024. So here we are. Incredible greetings, everyone. All right. I was actually supposed to do this way earlier. I actually going to go live a couple of times today because it's our last day in 2024. Oh my gosh. But I was working on some things this morning. So a little later than I planned, but I'll probably come back this evening as well. So let's see here. Let's edit our audience. If you are watching the playback of this is a live broadcast because I've been getting a lot of comments on videos lately, and it's like, oh my god, get to the you're not organ. No, people. I go live the majority of the time. The majority of my videos and like my things are conducted live now. I don't do a lot of the pre-recorded and then just upload it. So most times when you're coming on, yes, you do have to wait a little bit to get to the good stuff because we have to share it out. I have to go in, like change my privacy, like over on Facebook, like all this kind of, all this good jazz, whatever. I have to do all those things when I hit go live. So takes a little minute to get to like the good parts of the video. For some people, they're really impatient. We got to work on our patience in 2025. All right. But hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Unspeaking brand of products, as well as 365 Creative Academy, Silaholics Anonymous. I am your resident silhouette studio expert. Also cameos. I have 7 cameos. So I know a thing or two about the cameos and things of that nature. The program, of course, it's near and dear to my heart. I love teaching it. I think that anyone that does anything creatively should take the time to learn Silhouette Studio. It's a free program. Anyone can download it. You do not have to have a machine in order to use it. So whether you are somebody that prefers, Canva, because that's like, one of the big things now, or if you have like a Cricut machine, there are things within Silhouette Studio that can really, really help your creative endeavors because there's so many things that you can do on the free platform, and then combine it with other free platforms to maximize your design journey and your creative journey with using Canva or Cricut Design Space, or if you use like a different type of cutting machine, if you're into embroidery, setting up your files as vector files to make them easy to digitize, setting up files for laser cutting. Like, guys, when I tell you, there is so much versatility in Silhouette Studio. And like I said, I just feel like everyone should take the time to learn it. You should not really, as a creative, especially if you are a creative that wants to monetize what you do, and build a business around it or a side hustle, you really should have a couple of design platforms at your disposal. You should not rely on just one, especially ones that are internet based, and it can go down at any time, or like, if your Wi-Fi isn't working, you don't have access to the design platform. If something goes wrong with like their server, they're doing maintenance, you don't have access to it. Because that's happened to me a couple of times with Canva and, with Cricut Design Space as well. So I really encourage each and every person who is doing this and you want to build a business around it or just monetize it in some way to really look into learning more than one software. All right. So as you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Yes, the last time, because this is 2024. This is the end of 2024. Today's the last day. We can never do a video in 2024 again. Hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. So as you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you are watching from, what you do in the creative space. I actually was supposed to be doing our pro calls. Our $10 pro calls. I may end up doing it still tonight, but I know I actually had to do it yesterday and I did not, because tonight people will probably be like out and about and New Year's Eve, New Year Eve parties, and things of that nature. And I was really wanting to get one of those sessions in before 2025, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I've been working on a lot of things, that align with my goals for 2025. And I've just been like really locked in. So it kind of threw my schedule off just a little bit, but no, that's okay. Hi, Linda. Hello. Welcome. I am doing incredible. Grateful to have made it to the last day of 2024. Praying that God, sees me through the new year and I'm able to see 2025. So that I can spend 2 months still writing 2024. Who else does that? So where it takes you a little minute, or who is an overachiever and you normally like just kind of flip over to writing the correct year almost immediately. I know that's something. I'm not going to say it takes 2 months, but it definitely takes me writing the dates a couple of times to get kind of acclimated with writing 2025 instead of writing 2024 or typing it out. All right. But anywho, as I was saying, I teach everything. So studio, we have an amazing line of sublimation products. We have our Honestly Speaking sublimation paper and ink. Absolutely incredible. Today is the last day to get the BOGO, buy one, get one. It's not really free anymore. It's 90% off. So it's still a good deal, but it's like buy one, get one, 90% off for the 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17. I have it. I've been really bad with like promoting on social media and like really putting it out there, and my email marketing. That's actually something that is on my list of things to improve on for 2025. Like it's on my goal list, and I have goal segmentations that I'm also teaching with my focus blueprint. It's helped me a lot, and I've been implementing it on a different side of our business and things I'm trying to do. But I will say on this side with like remembering to send out emails or posting, I've just been so wrapped up in completing some other projects that I have not, but it is definitely set up within my goal segmentations for 2025 and how I want to market and making sure that I stay on top of that. I'm really big on focus, and my word for 2024 was intentionality, and just being intentional with the things that I did, the projects I decided to take on, the classes that I taught, just everything I did was just really about intentionality. And my word for 2025 is just focus. It's focus and goals. Like that's what the main theme will be for 2025. Have you guys decided on what you want to base your 2025 on? And while you guys are answering that, I'm going to go ahead and share out because I hadn't shared it out yet. So let's go ahead and share. All right, there we go. Hey, Quisha, thanks so much for joining. Not yet. I'm trying to regroup and rethink some things. Man, if you have not I'm not sure, like, what, as far as like what is, how can I say it, with you needing to regroup and like rethink some things. I went through that a few, actually like months ago. I want to say a few weeks. It was like a few months ago, and that's really where like my focus blueprint came into play. And there was a lot of questions that I had to ask myself. I had to redefine my why. Like, why was I doing this? Because if I'm being totally and completely honest, I got a little lost, and I was starting to not say lose my love for it, but I mean, it's just, I just felt like a robot in what I was doing. And I wasn't feeling like I wasn't really fulfilled. I really felt like I wasn't working to the best of my ability and working within, at my max capacity. Like I just felt a little lost. So I had to redefine my why. Like I had to understand, like really go back and look, Shakira, like ask myself, Shakira, what the hell are you doing? Right? Is this how you picture yourself? If you put all this work in, we're talking over a decade of like really actively like doing help videos and teaching classes and doing things like that. But in 26 years of, just building myself up creatively and learning all of these design skills and things of that nature, like, what are you doing with this? So I really, really had to ask myself a set of questions. Then once I asked myself that set of questions, I looked and realized, like, I realized, I don't say looked at, but I really looked internally and saw that I had a lot of focus blocks. The things that kept just pulling me away from what the goal was, like, because I wrote out, like, this is what I want to be able to do. And I found myself doing so many other things because of everything I was seeing around me. And that's where like part 2 of my self-assessment came in at, where I had to ask myself like a lot of these like questions that really, really made me think. It was a lot of self-reflection in this self-assessment. And then just kind of deciding who I wanted to serve. I will say I am still kind of split on that last one, because I end up doing my self-assessment that's in my focus blueprint. Kind of split. Like I literally had to sit down and do it for almost like 2 different business models. And I am a little torn and a little split, because while I love what I do in helping and teaching and trying to help other creatives who are new to this, I do feel like it is holding me back because I'm not utilizing a lot of the skills and things that I have to the best of my ability and making it really work for me. I felt like kind of stuck. So I am still that one, and just deciding who I want to serve. It is a struggle because I'm torn between what I know I need to do and what I love to do. So I am a little bit torn on that. So I definitely get the whole needing to regroup and rethink some things, because I went through that self-reflection and that's where my focus blueprint kind of came from. Even in like my craft space, like I had to declutter a lot of stuff that I paid good money for, because I'm like, if it's here, I'm going to keep pulling myself in a direction that I don't want to go in. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll just leave this, to those other folk. Like I have a bigger, a different purpose. So I truly, truly understand the need to like regroup and rethink some things. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Exactly. Don't forget to like and share. Hello, welcome in. I think that's why I'm not really big on vision boards. I know like that's something that's really big right now. People on my team, my mom has asked like, hey, everybody else is doing like this whole big thing and saying doing like a vision board party. And when I was younger, I used to when I think about like what a vision board was and when I've made them when I was younger and it wasn't really associated with business, I feel like a vision board personally is kind of sort of a good thing. Like I think most of mine, I don't think I ever really did most of the stuff on there. It's just like, it's these things like I hope and wish I could do, but it's like you don't really set plans. A lot of people create vision boards off of, oh, I wish I can do. It's almost like a wish list instead of like a real vision board. And they'll put things on it with no intentionality and like no real plan. Like you're not putting any plans in place. It's like just going through a bunch of magazines or just do it. Even they do it digitally and they go and find all these pictures of trips they want to take and money they want or cars and things like that. And then, there's those stuff that's not so so materialistic, and they want to be better with their health, or their mental, they want to like their spiritual walk. You have some people that put personal things, whether they want to have children or end up being in a relationship, and or they gotta put me first, Lucius. Some people put that on there, and it can help, but I've learned that vision boards, for me, and I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, quote unquote, vision boards can be a distraction because you're not putting any real intentions behind it. You're not really putting any plans behind it. You're not really setting forth like real goals. It's more of a wish list. So like, I'm not big on it, but a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's the new year. Why do we have to wait for I never understand that either. Why do we have to wait for a new year to, get into this whole resolution and vision boards and all these different things? Like you can reset, regroup, and rethink at any point in the year if what is going on is not working for you. You can always do that. So I never really played into, but I understand a lot of people are making a lot of money saying, hey, come join us for our vision board party. And if I was just after money, then yes, I definitely would be doing that. But I'm really, really focused and helping people really do what understand what really setting a goal is. It's one thing, oh yeah, okay, I want to be able to make I'll see people, I had my pricing for profit, I want to be able to make 6 figures, or I want to be able to make a certain amount of money for the year. Okay, well, have you really looked at your setup? Do you have the capacity to even do that? And when you break it down, it's like, no. So it's like you just threw this number out there because it sounds good. Yeah, you may have bills and you have debt and you have this and there are things that you want to do, but you didn't really sit down and map it all out, like success mapping, goal map. The things that I do each and every year, which is why I'm, I still have a level of success. There have been like some ups and downs and things like that, but I still have a level of success because even before I finally put it all kind of like in my focus blueprint, I understood the importance of really segmenting your goals. Like all goals are not created equal. They're not going to take the same amount of time. You have goals that will you're always working on. You have goals that have an endpoint, and then just mapping it all out. And I just think that most people just don't understand the significance of that. So decluttering is what I am doing now. I'm trying to focus on what I enjoy. Sherry, I'm not sure how your decluttering process is working. I have created this formula that is absolutely amazing. It is outlined in my focus blueprint it's on the website right now. So I'll just go in and put in and so you can get you'll get access to the digital copy right now. The digital they're all kind of go to our academy site, and that's where you can download the digital copy. There's going to be some things I'm going to be adding to that over the next couple of days. And we will have our first live session in 2025 where I'm just going to kind of break down some things. And everyone will kind of have who's enrolled in it, who's gotten the blueprint will have access to that. I'm also dripping out the content. So you get right now you get access to the first 2 parts of it, and then we'll kind of go into goal, because I have found, which I know my audience. Trust me, I am someone that really studies the people that come to me for help. And I know that if I were to put out that entire blueprint, it's okay, I'm going to read through, oh, this looks good, oh yes, and it's so motivating, but then they don't really do the work. And it's really taking time to kind of like sit in it and work on those things. So I decided to like drip out the blueprint little by little to give people time to really go through. So there's like a 3-part self-assessment. There is a decluttering process that I think is ingenious, and the way that I have it set up and how I outline it, it's going to make it less overwhelming for anybody who needs to declutter. Because I know for me, I'm doing air quotes, decluttered so many different times, or just tried to clear my space and organize it, and I'm pulling everything out. And now I'm like, my living room looks a mess. My husband's like, okay, when is this going to get cleaned up? And I had to create a process that kept peace in my house. And so that is outlined in like my focus blueprint. So it's like your self-assessment, then it goes into decluttering, and then it goes into goal segmentation, and then success mapping. Because if you don't map out your success, like you are literally, you're driving blind, like you're maneuvering blind, like you don't know where you're going, right? So the focus blueprint is just something that I'm really working on in conjunction with like some other projects that I won't be teaching it, because they're projects for me. Like I'm a designer, like I can create things, but I haven't been doing those. So I'm like literally creating things for it's not even for crafters. It's a totally different like market and industry. So me kind of working on that, like I have to be locked in and focused, which is why you guys haven't really seen me online for about a week and a half to almost 2 weeks now, because I've really been focused on that part of it. So yeah. Hello. Welcome. My goals are short term to figure things out. Once I surpass one, I will tackle another. That can be good and bad, right? Because some goals are attached to the one before. Like reaching or meeting one of the goals should set you up like for the next one, which is why goal segmentation is so important to understand. So I'll kind of give you just a little I'll give you kind of just a little glimpse of like what I mean by that, right? So hold on one second. Let me all right, got to figure out where that one is. Hold on. All right, let's go back here. Let's go back over here. Okay. So I have my goals broken up into 4 different categories, right? There's mastery, there's continuous growth, there's future prep, and then there's system building. It's important, like yes, we have short term, but you should already identify what your long term goals are. Like for me, one of my, it's like an ongoing, it's a continuous, like long-term goal for me. It's, the number of people that I want enrolled in Essential Silhouette Studio. It may seem like a big, like short-term goal, but like it was for 10,000 people to be enrolled in Essential Silhouette Studio, right? So like that might be like the big goal, right? I have to break that down. Like, how am I going to get 10,000 people to enroll into Essentials of Silhouette Studio? When did I want that to happen by? Like, did I want that to happen within 6 months? Did I want that to happen within a year of launching? Was it 2 years? Was it 5 years? Was it 10 years? What would be the deadline for that goal, right? So once I had that one, I now have to break that down into whether it's like monthly goals. If it's how many people do I need to reach this? Like if I set this goal for 5 years out, how does that break down monthly, weekly, daily? How do I get that number of people based off of when I want it? So sometimes we'll set goals, but we don't put an end date on it, right? Oh yeah, I want to have 10,000 people. Okay, so you want to have 10,000 people enrolled by when? So if you launched it, did you expect to get 10,000 people in 60 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 365 days, 2 years, 3 years? That is like my thing with like goal setting. People talk about goals so much, and we just make these just open-ended goals, and we don't put any expectation on it. We don't put any we don't put, not say just putting time stamps on goals. That is one of the things that when I start these live sessions for the Focus Blueprint, it's going to force those who are in it, who are really, really wanting to grow, to understand the importance of not just setting a goal, but when is this goal supposed to happen by? Like that's so important. So we say short term. For some people, a short term goal can be within the next few hours. It can be a day. It can be a week. It can be a month. So have you defined what short term is for you? And not all short term goals, not all midterm goals, not all long term goals have the same reach date. Am I making sense? Well, we are not there yet. Okay, so, and I think I said this last year as well. We are not there yet. I am not a put a cart before the horse type person. I'm very grateful that God has allowed me to at least see the last day of 2024. I woke up today, so I'm grateful for that. Tomorrow is not promised. So I don't, really do the whole what you guys are putting there, because I have not seen that yet. There may be other places around the country that have seen 2025. I have not. So while I thank you, I cannot say it back because we are not, for me, I live on the East Coast. So until we hit it here on the East Coast, I don't really say that yet because, I have not been blessed to see 2025 where I live at. So I don't really kind of, subscribe to the whole saying, Happy New Year before the actual New Year starts for me. So that's why you won't really hear me kind of like say it back. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So, I can sit here and I can talk about a whole lot of stuff, but my face isn't on the screen. So I figured I'd answer some questions. So whether you have questions about Canva, Photoshop, Silhouette Studio, or anything, the floor is open for you guys to drop your questions. Today is the last day of our 50% off discount for all our classes. Is also the last day for the BOGO deals on our 11 by 17 and 8.5 by 14 inch paper. So buy one, get one, 90% off. You do have to add both to your cart in order to take advantage of that discount. I didn't realize that there was actually an error when I first did them because they were saying December 21st instead of 31st. I didn't realize like my thing, there was a slip of me putting it in and it was 21st versus what's we're looking for? The 31st. There we go. I got a new heat press and wanting to do some cutting boards for family. How long do you press them? What type of cutting boards are you referring to? What type of cutting boards are you referring to? And I'm always one where no matter what someone tells you, that temper time may or may not work for you. You may have a new heat press, but your coils may not be like mine. It may not heat up. So with the new heat press, I hope that you did get a temp gun so that you can when you turn it on, test like the middle, the ends, the sides, and you're checking to see how close within range the output temperature is to what is on, like what's showing on the display. So hopefully you have done those things as well, and you've fully tested out your heat press, because I can give you a suggestion, but it, depending on how your heat press is, my suggestion may or may not work, which is why I am a person that always advocates for, whenever you have a new product, make sure that you order an additional one and you run tests on that. And with running a test, you are not trying to sublimate the entire thing. I do everything in strips, and I'm going to go press it. Okay, let me see, what does this do? All right, okay, let's go ahead and test another one. And I use that item as my tester. Any new item that I am using, I'm always going to have one to test. I do not immediately go into doing a full-on project. Oh, I'm not on TikTok, so I can say Amazon. All right, so you said ballpark. Each and every single one of our papers comes with the cover sheet on it. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe it does give, for glass, it says 375, which you can still do 365, and it says 3 to 5 minutes, medium pressure. So all of our paper has it. I'm never going to tell you anything that's different than what's on our paper, because those are things that we have tested. So that would be your starting point. Whatever we have on the cover sheet of the paper is where you want to start. It is not a class. No, it is not a class. There will be an option where I am going to have sessions and we're going to talk about these things and help you with like your goals, but it's not necessarily a class. It's to help you complete it, help you identify your goals, to maybe talk through some of your whys and your focus blocks. So it's more of a support system for those who sign up for it and they want that support and that help, but it is not a class per se. It is not a class. It is a workbook. It's an e-guide. We will have the physical version as well that will be printed and shipped out also. But for most, they just have like the digital version. And if you want that support through it to help you with like going through it, setting your goals, holding you accountable, then there is a support for that, but it is not a class. In your experience, what's the best fabric to press EconoFlock to? It can be pressed to any fabric. I'm not sure really. So are you, questions like that, I wouldn't say like, in my experience, because it's HTV, it can literally be pressed to anything. If there is something in particular that you are considering, I would more so ask along those lines for the project that you're considering using it for, but it's HTV. There is no specific like fabric for it. Oh, thank you. I checked the vault. I can't seem to find the videos you did that walks a dummy. Don't call yourself that. How to convert. So you won't find it in my vault. Like that's something that is on my YouTube channel. So she says, to convert my 7710, original cartridges have been used. Do I need to do anything special? Absolutely not. So there's going to be a lot of videos that say, do this, do that. There is nothing special to do. We do have a video on our YouTube channel that basically walks you through it. I'm not sure where you got your cartridges from, so you want to make sure that you fill your cartridges. If they are the cartridges that have the circle in the middle, you will need to prime them. And we have videos on that. Even if they're not ours, it will still help you in understanding how to prime those. So you have to just fill them. You will and make sure that they are primed. The reason why most people were having issues when they were converting is because they did not prime the cartridges first. So once you go, you have these cartridges ready and set up, they're filled, they're primed. You put them inside of the printer. Now, if you want, you can push air through the back of them just to kind of really force that sublimation ink through. But all you really have to do is once you put them in, go ahead, close it, make sure that there's nothing in the vent hole, close it, run it. Once it goes through, it tells you, sometimes it might do like an initializing. If it doesn't do that, you're going to run a print head cleaning and you are going to be done. There is nothing special or anything extra that you need to do to go from a regular pigment ink printer to sublimation. It should not take 30,000 print head cleanings. I would recommend before you convert it to do a print nozzle check. And that's just going to make sure that everything is working. So if you know that it's working before you put the ink in there, that's going to be your indicator if something should go wrong. Because switching to sublimation should be nothing more than switching out the cartridge that you use. Now, if you ever go backwards from sublimation and want to go back to the regular pigment ink, now you do have to flush out the lines. But to go from pigment to sublimation, you fill, prime, put them in the printer, close it up, do a print head cleaning or two, and you should be good to go. So if we go, honestly speaking, 7720, I don't know if it says setup. I've done so many of them. Actually, no, let's go. Yeah, see, this is the one that, as far as converting it back. Because I know I did the one. So this was like the 7820, which I'm probably going to take this video down because I don't recommend setting it up, and we don't sell the cartridges and things for it anymore. I know I did the one where I said, why are my video? I don't remember what to put in there to make it come up, because I know I did my mom's 7210. I've done the 7720. Okay. Oh, it was under Silaholics Anonymous. But yeah, this is the one I did my mom's. It's for a 7210 one. I don't know. Oh, because this was doing Silaholics Anonymous month. Okay, that's why. But this is the 7210 one. It's the exact same process. Like the only thing that's different is like the screen on the front. You just have to still just get to ink cartridge replacement. But I have one. Like I've done this so many times. I don't understand why it's not coming up. But here's the one on how to fill and prime your cartridges. That's so crazy. Because I don't think I used the word conversion. Epson, let's see, 7720. And I've done that thing like I've done a setup of those printers at least 3 times. I have no idea why it's not coming up. That's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. I know this is that one, but I've done the 7721 a couple of times. But yeah, it's not going to be something you find in the vault. Econo sub flock. I was wondering, is it best? It doesn't matter. It's vinyl. Just like any HTV, it can go on any vinyl. I mean, it's meant to, so only other thing I will say is, of course, if you use a high polyester, remember it does not have dye migration block. So if you are putting it on, let's say a red 100%, 98% like polyester shirt, if there's going to be parts of it that's left white, it could look pinkish because there is no dye migration block. So that's the only thing. But it's just like any other HTV. Regular HTV is the same way. It does not have dye migration block. I will It was kind of a tester. I cannot say like, I know they were helpful for some people, but the issue was like sometimes the time frame where I have it open and someone may sign up at 11 and then someone doesn't sign up until 1. So now I'm kind of like stuck on a call for that long period of time and I'm not really getting paid for that. It was great in theory, but yeah, so I don't know. Like I really, really want to be able to help, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. I suggest and have been using Econo summation flock for years. Yeah, I don't know though because actually let me see. I don't know what's going on with their website. Let me see if it's back up. No, yeah. So see, even their website. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I love their products. Not sure what's going on because I actually tried to go on there to order me some more satin and flock, and I couldn't get to their website. So we have Submation Ink. I'm not sure. Submation Ink. Now the cartridges, because I think you're the one that asked about the 7720. The cartridges, I don't know. We've gone back and forth with that. It's like some people are like now they're like, okay, well, whatever. I have this old one. Let me go ahead and convert it. So I guess there is still a need for the 252 cartridges. But we had so many that sat for so long because everybody was getting into EcoTank printers, and you cannot purchase the 7710, 7720, 7210, like all of those, you can't purchase those anymore. So sales on those really dropped. So for us to keep them in stock, it's kind of bad for us because we're just sitting on inventory that's not really moving. But as far as the ink, I'm going to change the graphics because I know this says EcoTank ink. This is the ink that we have. It's the ink that I use in my 7720. It works fine. So you can definitely use this ink. I'm like, so we have plenty of ink in stock. Yeah, their website is not working. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think on their Instagram, a lot of people were asking. It's been like maybe like 2 months. So I'm not sure if something has happened. I need to actually probably reach out to James. I keep saying that I'm going to, and I haven't done so yet. But yeah, their website is down, and I don't understand what's going on. It has been down for a while. Yeah, I'm going to change the graphics for this because I know a lot of people are. That's why here it says for all Epson printers. It's not just for just for EcoTank printers. Oh, well, we will not carry any of those. It's just too much. People got real nasty. And I know it's not everybody, but I like to remain professional. And because it's hit or miss with that, especially the 7310, because they cannot test the chips on the 7310. So while it, because they have a different firmware than the 7820 and the 7840. So while they are the same cartridges, when it comes to Epson, when it comes to the third party ones, the ones that create them, they cannot test them because they don't have access to that particular model of printer over there. And so when people have that one, they call us, they want to do chargebacks and this and the third. No, and although we have won every single chargeback someone tried to do because we have it listed on our site, it's still a pain in the butt to have to go through that process and, get all of the information and take the screenshots and send it to them. It's a long process for me, and I just don't have time for that because when you go and you tell people, no, it's like I can do. Oh, well, I spent this money, but it said that it could not work, and you're taking a risk, and they want to do chargebacks. We've won every single chargeback because they were well aware beforehand. We show evidence that it's on there, like so. But it's a long process, so I just don't want the headache. There's others they're okay with that headache. You can get the 812 cartridges from other places, but we will not be restocking them. No, we do not sell. We're not like a full-on cartridge place that carries all cartridges. I got into this and was selling the ink and cartridges because I was someone that was teaching with the Epson 7720s. But we never intended or set out to be a company that provides summation supplies to convert all printers, because the amount of marketing that it takes for people to be able to find you and all that, and then you're just kind of sitting on this type of inventory without people doing without content creators doing the content and directing people our way, it would just be a lot to kind of keep all of those, different cartridges. So that's not what, we kind of do. We keep the ink, and as I say, even with the cartridges, I've gone back and forth on ordering more 252s because they are harder to push than the ink part of it. Ink we can keep. Hell, if y'all never use ink, I can always use ink because I'm always going to submit, and I know I can put that in any printer that I convert. So yeah, we just don't carry them all. I know information about them, but we just don't carry them all. Do I have any resetters? No, we don't have those because it's just like we sat on those for a while. And it's like the moment we sold out, now everybody's looking for a chip resetter. I will tell you though, if you're looking for it for the 7310, it does not work on that. So a chip resetter will only work if you have cartridges that naturally can be reset. The 812 cartridges are single-use chips. Those chips cannot be reset. And that was another thing too. We kept getting like requests for refunds or chargebacks because they would go and get the chip resetter when we clearly state that it cannot be used for the 812s. It clearly states it, and they still want to buy it and try it and all that stuff. In our videos, we're using it on the 252s. So it just became like that part of the business became more of a headache than we wanted to deal with. I'm stocked up on the ink, but when you go to membership for paper and ink, I am in. Yeah. So when it comes to that, it's just that those who are the membership or like you're in the Creative Lounge, there is a discount code because the prices reflect a much higher price. So you'll be able to get them either that or through the brand ambassadors that we are going to onboard, and just content creators. You'll get discounts by going through content creators. But if someone was just to come straight to our site, we're going to probably seem really expensive. But there are ways to save, whether you're in Creative Lounge. We have like membership ones that you will basically, pay that membership and you'll get access to discount codes, with that membership, and through content creators. So they will have their own exclusive codes that will give people discounts as well. I joined late. Did you mention that you will still have cartridges for it? No. So I have thought about doing like the buy-in, but even with that, everyone kept asking about, oh, we want roll paper. Where's the summation paper rolls? We did that. We did the pre-order for that, had it open for weeks, months, and then people still, okay, we don't restock them. We're not going to have them, just available on the website. We're not buying a shitload of inventory for the rolls for them to sit. Once the pre-order window opens up, you have to do that. Well, we sent out emails. You guys are not opening up your emails. The algorithm sucks. Half the time, they're not really informing people that we're live. Like right now, the numbers on my live video, it should not be this low. So if we go and we do like the pre-order for them, the majority of the craft world that's doing sublimation, they're not using it. Like they don't have the old school printers and things of that nature. they have EcoTank printers. So that's not something that they need. So for us to, if you've never done your taxes yourself, or you don't understand how taxes work, the more inventory that we have on hand at the end of the year, it hurts us. So when we went through this period and we're sitting on literally all this inventory, everyone kept saying, oh, we need this, and we're ordering all that stuff, it hurt us. Just to kind of keep it around for a few people, it's just not worth it. Like, those are some hard decisions. Yeah, it's other people are not going to like it. It doesn't, it's kind of bad for certain consumers. They want to be able to know that, okay, it's there for when I need it. But when you guys really get into business and you are making money to where your tax bill could be anywhere from 50,000 to 2,000, depending on, like your deduction, things like that, you start to make better decisions. When you're just kind of starting out, it's a side hustle, and, okay, I made a little bit of money here and there. A lot of it was cash transactions. You're not doing certain things and you're still to get a refund. You don't really think about those things. But when you go and you're really having to log in your inventory, and because of your inventory, that makes a difference between owing an extra $5,000 or maybe even getting a refund back, you learn to make smarter business decisions. And keeping chip resetters and an excessive amount of cartridges, it hurt us one year. So yeah, we're not doing that anymore. No, unless, so create 365 Creative Academy would only be for things that are related to classes. So for a yard sign, no, I mean, you can send it to like the professor, or is it raining? Oh, wow. Rain came out of nowhere. But I have been like on a break. Normally when the kids are out, I kind of take a break. So I haven't if I'm being honest, I haven't really checked emails. I would have like saw it there, and I probably would have like responded back with the CC to the actual like email one, with the appropriate like email. But I have not really like been on my emails. I've been really locked in and for the stuff I'm trying to launch at the beginning of the year. I do remember seeing your post in the group about the yard sign templates. And I responded back and I was asking, does it just not download or is it not opening? So if that's in line with that question, I do believe I did answer it in the group where I asked the question. Hey, Jerry. Thank you. Hey. Welcome. But yeah, guys, I mean, when it comes to like, that's why, and I feel so bad because I thought I would have, this was meant to be questions for Silhouette because you guys aren't going to see my face. Sorry. I wasn't really expecting to come on and kind of like answer like general questions. I was really hoping to answer some questions on the computer. But I will say, when you guys get to a certain point, and I get a lot of flack for not calling what I do a craft business. Most people who are running a craft business, it's going to sound bad. Not to say like they're not making money, but the type of business that we have and the amount of money that we pull in, you learn to make better decisions. Some people go, it's like, oh, whatever the customer wants, whatever they want, I'm going to customize everything. And they're buying supply after supply, but they're also not logging in that supply. They're not accounting those things as like inventory. They're just buying, which is why most crafters don't really know where their money goes. It's like they know they got sales, but then they feel like, well, damn, I didn't get to buy myself this. I didn't get to do that. I don't have savings. It's because you're just buying because a trend comes up. You go buy all the supplies for it. You don't have any real plans for those supplies. You go and buy a big 5-gallon thing of epoxy because of a table, like when you should have just started off small. You didn't really make a plan for how long, like how many tables you're going to do to really, utilize all this epoxy. You might use a quarter of it. Okay, well, what about the other 75% of it? So now that's just money that's wasted. It's just kind of sitting there. I don't do those things anymore. Those are not good business decisions. So there's a really big difference. And I'm not trying to down crafters, but the way in which you think as a crafter is way different than how you think as a business owner. And you are really looking at these things. And although it might hurt your sales a little bit, you end up having to make some tough decisions that works best for your business and not for others. So I'm at that point in business where although there are a handful of people that ask about the cartridges or the chip resetters, like I don't have this feeling of, oh, well, let me get it so I don't lose that sale. We barely made money on chip resetters. Like that's not a product that brings in a high revenue. Not all of our products have the same profit margin. And that was one of our lowest profit margins. But to have them on hand cost us more on the back end of it. So when you are in business and you understand business, you will learn that you have to make some decisions and some things just aren't worth it, She says that was me buying. Yeah, I mean, I catch a lot of flack for my talk about that, and people just they want the person that's like, oh no, just show me everything. Like these, all of the cards. These cards come around every single year. They're not something that's new. I keep hearing people say, oh, I made this go viral, baby girl, baby boy. This is not new, okay? I mean, you may have brought it back up to where people are now thinking about them and stuff like that, at the end of 2024, but this is not something that's new. Those cards, those jumbo cards is something they were doing last year. It always starts around Christmas time. It goes into Valentine's Day and then it dies off. You might see a little bit of it around like Easter because they'll say, oh, for the older kids, we don't want to do Easter baskets. We're going to do this. And after Easter, it dies down. Like they go away until Christmas time again. It's nothing that's new. And it's a lot. I've gotten so many requests. Oh my God, professor, are you going to do this? And then, no, they're showing y'all how to do it. Like, it's not worth my time to go through that because I've gone through it. I've shown it before. I've given you all of the information on this. You just kind of have to apply it. So if you want to go and pay somebody for a class, hey, they got plenty of classes. I just can't do it. She says, yep, tumblers are $8. I can't sell at 20. You can't sell. Are you saying that you can't sell a tumbler for $20? A 20-ounce tumbler should easily be able to. If they are not able to sell them at $20, then you have to look at who you are marketing them to. How are you, is it that, because okay, how can I say this? Oh, you know what? Look, all right. Case in point, this was for a different video. But let's take something like this, right? Some people say, okay, I have an $8 tumbler. Well, first, no, let me back up. If you're saying you can't sell them for 20, what are people telling? Like, what's the max that people want to spend? What's your top number that you are able to sell a tumbler at? Let's start there. Oh, it's about me printing? Oh, okay. You can do either info@hsinc365prints.com or just do it to theprofessor@hsinc365.com. So either one of those will work. Either info@hsinc365prints.com or theprofessor@hsinc365. Either one of those. Because the ones selling $8, huh? Wait, I'm confused on. Are you saying people are selling are you talking about the blank tumblers for $8 or one that's fully designed? People are selling them for $8. I'm confused. And you said you like 25, but are you selling them at $20 and $25? Or are you having a hard time selling at $20, $25? Excuse me. Okay, I know you feel like it's fair, but are you able to actually sell them at that price point? because you says I can't sell at 20. So I'm not sure. I sell for 25. Okay, but fully, I think where our wires are kind of crossed here, Don. Okay, fully designed. Are you stating that a fully designed tumbler, you are not able to sell it for $20, that they are wanting it for less? Okay, you're having a hard time selling them at $20 and $25. Okay. Hey, welcome, welcome. Okay, I do, but you feel like you should be selling more. Well, who are you marketing them to? How are you getting it out there? And these are questions that I technically know the answer to, because you've been in programs. You've actually, you're one of the people that actually speak up and, during some of these sessions and things like that. I know you had a lot with like the softball team, and then there was like someone's company and things like that. The problem for a lot of crafters is they learn all these skills, and then they miss one of the most important parts is, how are you going to market and sell them? Branding is not the same. That's why I did not say how to brand and market them. How to market and sell them. Who are you selling them to? How are you letting people know? And I'm saying this because this is something on the ink and paper side, the class side. I have to go live like almost every single day. If I don't, or I have to post something literally every single day if I'm not using advertisements. Crafters, for some reason, don't see a lot of value in doing like ads. If you learn to do them the right way, you can put like a small amount in. You really have to think about like, okay, if you start doing ads though, that means more eyeballs are on you. That's why you have to be very, very strategic. You can't just throw a couple $1,000s at ads, because that means you might get an influx of people in that you are not able to handle. So you might want to do just a little bit here and there. Make sure that they are reaching people locally. Get this whole global. A lot of you guys, if I'm being honest, you are not ready for global. You're not ready to global. You're not ready to service the entire United States. You're not able to do, North America. You're just not able to, like, if we're being honest. So if you're running ads, this now opens you up more, where more eyeballs. And what if you get this rush and you cannot handle it? So if you're going to run ads, like, there are ways to go in there and make those ads visible to the people in like your local area. How are you getting out and about? Are you going to local events? Are you going to schools? Are you a part of PTAs? Crafters think that because they learn a new skill, orders are going to fall in their lap just because you're posting it online. And I would say even over half of the crafters, they're barely doing that. They make stuff. They will post it in a craft group. Oh, look what I made, but it never hits your page. You are never letting people know that you have these services available for sale. You are in love with the idea of crafting and creating and not building a business and not making money. That is the truth for a good majority of people who consider themselves to be crafters. So, this is where goals come into place. And how are you going to reach that goal? If you have these tumblers, you want to be able to sell them. How are you going to reach the people who are going to pay $20, $25, $30, whatever? I have a design fee. For me and how I do mine, there's a cost for the tumbler. And some people are like, oh my God, I said that's the cost for the tumbler. That wasn't the cost for the design. And how I operate business, my design fee is totally separate than the cost of the tumbler. They are not included. But a lot of crafters, their mindset is because they're in these craft groups. Oh my God, they're just so excited about creating. They're lumping it all together. No, that's two different services. Me designing and me making this tumbler are two different services. Now, I would be able to have like this, I would say set price and, like maybe set tumblers like $15 if it's the same exact design. and everybody is getting it. When Stanley, they're mass producing them, they're mass producing a bunch of pink ones and purple ones and teals and whites and browns and blacks and this and all these different ones. They're mass producing that one product. There are hundreds of thousands of people with that, all with the same pink Stanley tumbler. What makes them different is what they choose to put on it. So like my sister, she just got my niece a Stanley. My niece's dad got her a Stanley. So when she's first thing she said was, "Oh, I got to put this on here. I got to put my kid. I got to put this because there's other kids at school that will have the same one. They're going to try and take mine because they are selling something that can be reproduced. More than one person will have the exact same thing. So unless you put some type of identifier on there, it's going to look the same. So whether you are putting it on it, so like my niece, she got this Stanley, right? Okay, they paid them out for the Stanley, however much it was. But in order for this now to be identified as my niece's, her parents had to go and buy other things. Okay, we're going to get you this topper for your straw. We're going to get you these stickers to put on there. Oh, have your auntie make you X, Y, and Z. So you can put it on there. That way it's identified as yours. All of those things that made that Stanley that on the shelf looks exactly like all the other ones, all of those things are now put on there. They had to be paid for separately. Guess what? Your design fee is the same way. When you are putting a design on this stainless steel 20-ounce tumbler, 40-ounce tumbler, you need to charge for the things that are going on there that makes it unique. But a crafter mindset does not think that way. $45 for a Stanley is crazy. That's to you, right? We have to remember that prices are not just based off of like the item. In a business, your price is based off of quality and not, I would say, oh, charge your worth. What, everybody's worth something. What is the value it has to other people, right? So the style of that and having that size tumbler is not something that's new. What I appreciated about the Stanley one was the handle, because MJ is now what, 13? We had like the Orzic Trail, and you had like the Yeti that was out, which is also kind of, that one was kind of pretty expensive. You got like Orzic Trail, and there's another one that we had, Mossy Oak, something like that, right? So they do the same thing. We were at track meets. MJ was 6. So these are not something that's new, but you always have to kind of hold it in like your hand, and like, I'm carrying a bunch of stuff. It just made it difficult. I had a little one at the time. That handle makes that stainless steel cup a lot more valuable, right? So that's the first step of it, is the value of it, the ease that it's going to bring to your life. It's not just the stainless steel tumbler, because there's a bunch of them that's stainless steel that are 40 ounces, that's double walled, all of those different things. But on the flip side of that is all of the business aspects of it, right? The packaging of it, to be able to get it in stores. You have supervisors and regular workers. You have CEOs, you have accountants. But when you are, as a crafter and as a solopreneur, you're just thinking about you yourself and not like a full business operation. So many crafters think that, oh, I learned to make something, I put a price to it, I create a business name, I create a logo, I have a business. And they are not thinking about all the other parts of it, of a business, right? Because you're doing everything yourself. So if you go, it's like, okay, yep, I think that's crazy to charge that amount. It might, for your budget, it might seem crazy. But in order for them to run this mega corporation, there are so many things that have to be paid out. There are workers that have to be paid. So it makes sense. Now, if it was something like, okay, this one tumbler, just plain old pink, you got to pay $200 for it. Yeah, I'm not paying that, right? But to go from paying maybe $20 for the ones that we had And now there is a lid. I hated the lids on the Yeti. I hated the lids on the Orzok Trail. I hated the lids on the Mossy Oak ones. So when I first saw the stainless lid, I was like, oh, okay. It has like, when it comes with like the straw, it has a handle. So are those features enough? If I've had one that was less expensive, I identified the things I did not like about those. Now this company solved those issues, the things I did not like, and all they want is an extra $20, sign me up. That is the way that you have to think as a business. And that's when I have a business mindset. I'm always trying to talk to crafters, which is why I'm not the popular person in this world, but it's like trying to really, really make you think about those things. You want to start a business. I started this wanting to have a business. I am now working to build a company. You can't do everything on your own. You got to relinquish some things. You cannot grow. If you want to just be a crafter and do it in your home, hey, you can have that side hustle. But once you really come into the mindset of a business and running a company, your mindset has to change. I took my circle tumbler. Genius to where they took that the craze of the 40 ounce and they put that little, because MJ loves his circle tumbler. We have some. He likes a little pouch, like the little juice packs. At first we thought like, okay, cool, but that kid will go through a bunch of those cartridges because he puts it on full blast. He drinks it. By the time he gets like a cup, like fill it up a couple of times, the flavor's gone. He doesn't want to use it anymore. We were spending way too much money on those damn cartridges. But when they went to the big one, I'm like, they're smart. Why not play on what Stanley has set the foundation. Now I'm going to take what people love about our product and combine it with theirs. And you've now added more value to it. So it can cost more technically. But with Circle, their price point might be a little bit different because in order for you to get the most out of their product, they have something that you use up. You have to keep coming back to them to get more cartridges. Stanley, you have to, once they sell that to you, there's nothing else they can sell to you other than another Stanley. So their price point is structured as you're going to be a one-time customer, because we know the person that helped them get how they got popular, because they've been around for a really, really long time. Well, what helped them become popular is that person whose car burnt, got caught on fire, and this Stanley is still like, baby, everything else is torched. This is still standing, right? So it's like, I'm going to sell you this product, and if you wanted to, it can be a family heirloom. I'm going to pass it down and pass it down and pass it down. This thing will withstand a fire. Just buy it one time, and you're going to be good, right? So their price point is going to be a little bit different than getting the Circle version of it. And it's so crazy that people, even with the Circle one, people call it a Stanley. And it ain't a Stanley. It's a Circle 40-ounce double wall insulated tumbler. But someone will go and say they have a Circle Stanley tumbler. And I'm like, what the heck? No, you got a Circle tumbler? Because I heard someone actually say that. And I'm like, no, you got a Circle one. So look, theirs are $24.88, right? If you wanted, so you can't use this like a regular Stanley because it has a special type of lid on it. It's meant to hold a cartridge. So the cup itself is going to do the same exact thing a Stanley does, the same thing a Orzok Trail one does, the same thing your 20-ounce one does. It's going to do the same thing. But in order to use this one, you need to get the cartridges. The lid is not made for you to just go and just put a generalized beverage in it and use it. You need to have the cartridges. That's something that you're going to keep coming back to if you want to use it the way that this was intended. So while theirs is $24.88, or really it was like $30, it's less than a Stanley. They have a product where you have to keep coming back to them. These are things that you have to think about as a business. Incredible greetings. Hello, on the last day of 2024. We're not in the new year yet, so. But I am very grateful to make it to New Year's Eve and the last day of 2024. These are the things that I really, really wish, like, and I will, as much, I'm gonna tell y'all will see less of me in the capacity of crafting. Like, I really, really want to help creatives understand business and how to build a real thriving business. And it's going to be hard. You're going to have to let go of some of the mindsets you have. You're going to have to let go of some of these craft groups that are keeping you, like, that's just, that's redirecting your focus. If you are, some of these groups are made for newbies. Some of you guys have been in this too long to still be faced with some of the same issues year after year after year after year, because you are not elevating yourself. You are allowing yourself to stay in groups where the title says for beginners. Why are you still in a beginners group? How many ways can you learn to submit a shirt? Where you need to be in a beginner's group for summation. How many videos can you watch about sublimating a shirt? How many videos can you watch about print and cut? Okay, you have the skills now. And if you don't have the skills, should you be thinking about this big, big, mega bit business and making all this money if you don't even have the basics down? So it's either we're going to work on scaling or we're going to work on the beginning and work on the basics, but you cannot do both. But that's the messaging that most people don't want to hear, especially crafters. They don't want to hear that you can't work on both. You can't be a beginner and have this business. You can't be someone who wants to have this business, but you're still asking people, how much should I charge for this? I'm sorry, you're not the business owner? Have you not done have you not taken a look at your business and what it takes to run your business? How can you ask us what you should charge? We don't know what type of bills you have and what type of overhead that you have. Have you broken all of that down? Do you have the capacity to fill these large orders just because you see somebody else saying, oh, I did X, Y, and Z? Well, is your space conducive to that? Do you have the capacity to do that? So that's what I said. I had to completely refocus because when I first got into this, yes, I was a stay-at-home mom who wasn't doing this part of it for business. I was an event planner. I shared with you guys, like, when I was making things for events and stuff like that, I'm no longer an event planner. And that was that took a toll, trying to be an event planner and trying to be a teacher. It just left me no room for family, nothing, because those are two different businesses. Going into 2025, like, when I went through this focus blueprint and I defined my why, I went through my focus blocks, I went through who I want to serve, beginner crafter is just not it for me anymore. I'm sorry. She says, I'm done with them. They get a free item, scream how great it is, and it's not, I go by crap, I'm done. Oh, you mean like the influence? Well, that's more so like YouTube and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that that's something that's bad. When they go and they show it to you, you have to do your research, right? Does this align with your goals? You purchasing this item, you purchasing this supply, you purchasing this product, whatever it is, how is it going to benefit you? When you go and you're seeing, like, what they're whatever that they're using, are you just going off of their video? Do you go research and find other videos? Do you ask questions? Do you ask specific questions? I'm always encouraging you guys to ask questions. You guys ask a lot of, like, you can Google this type stuff, right? You're not really asking questions like, how are they using it? Are they like you? Like, some people have asked, how do you do it? You are a wife, you are a mom, you have a teenager and a toddler, that's in school, you're helping with homework. How do you like balance it all? How does this work for you? Some of the equipment that I have, is it great for beginners who are like, look, I'm on a budget. I'm trying to watch. I want to be able to do this, but I want to do it where it's budget friendly. Okay. There are ways to do it where it's budget friendly. I'm not looking for budget friendly. I'm looking for efficiency. Because I am a wife. I am a mom of a teenager that has extracurricular activities. I am a mom of a 6-year-old who has doctor's appointments because he has epilepsy, and I have to help him with homework. I have to create all of these different learning resources to help supplement the learning that he's getting in school. I also run a business. Actually, really, if I'm being honest, I'm running at least 3 to 4 businesses because they are all very different. Where do I find the time? So when I want to be able to do certain things, I can't go with the cost-effective, inexpensive, cheap item that's going to have me doing this process a lot longer, going through 30,000 steps. I now need something that's going to be more efficient for me. So if I have to pay a couple $100s for efficiency for my lifestyle, that works. But when you guys are not asking the questions, you watch these videos, you're not commenting, you're not asking any real questions to find out if it's something that's going to really, really work for you in your space. You are asking questions about how much space does it take up? You're going to end up buying these things that's just going to sit. It's not really their fault. It's not that the thing was crap. You just did not know how you were going to use it. I hesitate to bring up certain things. When I went and I had my Canon TC20 for a long time before I showed it. And the reason why I did that, I'm kind of regretting it. I showed my Canon TC20 because I wanted to show, hey, Canon's ink is expensive. You can come over to Honestly Speaking, get our pigment ink. We put our pigment ink in our Canon TC20. Oh, wait, you have one of those? Oh, I want this, like all this different stuff. But then they're not doing the full research to know that they have you need a 2-inch core. Most papers come in a 3-inch core. Well, what can I do for this and the third? Like I was still working through that process myself of figuring out how to convert the 3-inch core to the 2-inch core so I can use it and this, that, and the third. Like, so there's a lot to it. So sometimes it's not that you got an item for free, because I darn sure paid full price for my Canon TC20. There are a lot of people because they saw me print out something, but I had it out. That was just me showing, hey, I was able to print out this large print. It's not to say that I did not have issues, but am I going to outline like all the issues? I'm still figuring it out myself. But if you don't go do your research and your due diligence, if you're not willing to work out the issues for yourself, yes, I saw it somewhere. I knew about the limitations, but I also know me, and I knew that I was willing to take the time to figure out how can I make this work for me. So I didn't see it as like a bad purchase. You have to be willing to do that. Like I think like Jane asked earlier about the glass, right? And the cutting boards for that. I'm never going to be able to tell you like a exact temp time or whatever. I'm always going to advise you, make sure that you order extra. If you did not order one, go online. Yes, you're going to have to pay more for shipping now. Who cares? Or order another one, and you're going to do test strips, and you're going to do a test and have a notebook. Write down what happened. Was it, what were the edges? Did the edges not fully sublimate? Because that might mean you have cold spots, or you might have a pressure issue. I'm always going to recommend when it comes to a new product to run the test. But a lot of crafters see that as a waste of time. It's a waste of material. Oh, I can't sell this, instead of figuring the thing out. But I'm different. Like that's just not me. Hey. Welcome. It's our last live of 2024. I'll say lunchtime live. It's like Q&A. I'm not on camera. I'm enjoying being comfortable right now. Got a bonnet on my head. I may or may not have on a contraption to hold my boobs up. I'm enjoying being comfortable right now, but I also want to be present to be able to help. So if you had a general question, y'all just gonna keep talking to my screen. You can always ask questions about Silhouette Studio, about Canva, Photoshop, anything where I can visually show you something like on the screen, or you can listen to me kind of, give some guidance and direction. but you're gonna be looking at my screen, you're never gonna see my face. So yeah. It may seem as if the things that I am talking about don't align with what's on the screen, because that's because I didn't really intend to kind of I was gonna get all cutesy and dolled up for the session for this evening, but for this one, I'm comfortable. So you're more than welcome to ask questions. If not, whoa, where did an hour and a half go? Okay, maybe not. Well, if there's uh I will return that on tomorrow. I am not a person that kind of says Happy New Year before the new year. So I'm not being rude and not saying it back. I just don't believe in kind of saying that before the new year. Oh, it's so interesting that I see your name. We were actually dealing with an issue with QuickBooks, and one of your orders that came into us actually happened to be like, as we were scrolling, like it's where we kind of stopped at. So we were actually just utilizing your order as an example of an issue that we were having with QuickBooks. That's kind of crazy to kind of see your name now. That's wow. Yeah, we were on with QuickBooks. Like it's, it's those things too. When you don't have, you know, a different person, like, yeah, we have a bookkeeper, but then when they have issues, it's still us, and we have to spend time on the phone with them correcting issues because we don't have another department. So that ends up taking you away from doing something else. So I couldn't go live earlier, even was getting frustrated. I was frustrated. And it's like you try to put systems in place, but QuickBooks system is all jacked up and it's making our life a living hell. So yeah, it's a lot to business, guys. It is not, I'm not telling y'all, it is so much more than just creating things. If you just want to create and just like put a price to it and monetize it, it's saying you have a side hustle is not a bad thing, y'all. I don't know where side hustle got this negative connotation, but it is what it is. Like it's part-time. It's not a full-fledged business and company, because that comes with a lot more stresses. It comes with a lot more issues and things that you have to think about. You have to think past surface level. You have to forward think. You have to make plans and projections for the future. Companies make projections on how much they think they're going to make based off of like whether it's advertising and just different things they have out there to bring in more customers, or the new items that they're going to bring in. They make projections for that. A lot of crafters cannot make projections. It's like you're still relying on a group to tell you, well, hey, what's the next big holiday, the next big wave of things where crafters will thrive. Like, yeah. Yep, I want a large format printer like that, but when me and my business are ready for it, okay. Have you tested printing on Glitter HTV with what do you mean printing on it? Like sending it through a printer or sublimating to it? And I'm guessing you mean the fine or the coarse, like glitter. And again, are you referring to sublimating to it or printing directly to it? If you're saying printing directly to it, are you referring to like putting it through my Canon or like my Roland? So the fine glitter, like, okay, the coarse glitter one isn't going to be great because it doesn't sit flat. For sublimation, you want something that's going to be flat. Like in theory, it's really no point in me doing a super coarse glitter because of the way that it sits off the page. You want it to be as flat as possible to make sure that that gas goes down. Whenever a sublimation paper is not making direct contact with something, that leaves room for the gases to unevenly disperse. So it wouldn't make sense for me to even test that because I fully understand how sublimation works. So there is like, it's kind of like if you go to and you go in and get like the recollections, it's coarse, but it's not like the ones was like raised up and stuff like that. Now there is one that's like almost like completely smooth and has this like shiny look. That's not true glitter, and that doesn't sub well. So I'm not sure if you're referring to that, because there is a glitter that's more like if you go and you heat it up, it's just going to stick to it because it has this coating on it. So all the ones that look really, really shiny and flat, like it is completely smooth, you cannot submate to those. Now, if it's fine glitter, you can feel it. You can feel the bumpiness of it. That is what you want to submit to. It doesn't have this like gloss over it. Because of course, glitter, it has like sparkle and shine, but it's not glossy. Those are two different things. So I won't say that I've ever done like super, super coarse glitter that's like really sticking up, because that's not a flat surface and you'll end up getting those lines. Fine glitter, yes. Chunky glitter, absolutely not. I mean, you can always test yourself, but chunky glitter is not meant for sublimation. And when in doubt, I always recommend that you guys run your own tests as well. Like I cut off little pieces of things all the time and just do little test prints. Like it doesn't have to be a full-on design. You just want to see how it's going to sublimate, if it's going to sublimate. I have printed out sheets that just have like a pattern on it, and I'll cut out little pieces and I'll press it to test it. Like I'm always, open to like running a test on something that I just don't know. If I see it somewhere, I'll at least try it out for myself. And I'll either be like, no, this is for the birds. I'm like that with paper as well. That's why like those who took my composition notebook class, they got to kind of see like the 30,000 packs of sticker paper that I had, both glossy and matte. I have some that's satin. I'm the same way with paper. Like I might go off with someone's suggestion. I'll see what's like the smallest like quantity that I can purchase. I'll get it. Let me try it out. Let me test it first. And then I'll go from there, which is why we have the sample pack on our website. Before someone invests in a full 100 pack, you can always go and get our sample pack of paper just to try it out. And we, purposely did not do it where it's just a few sheets because, stuff will mess up. So our sample pack is 20 sheets for that very reason. Like we were very strategic in how we set it up. And because I've seen some people do sample packs and it's like 3 or 4 sheets. When we were looking for paper, some of the companies overseas, they were sending us quote unquote sample packs, and it was like 3 sheets and 5. What am I supposed to do with this? I can't really test with this. So we did ours that way because I hated the way sample packs came from overseas. Like I want you to really be able to like test it out. I'm debating on subbing to glitter versus full on layering. It just depends. Like, it just really depends if it's coarse, if it's, okay, I'll ask this. What brand of glitter cardstock do you use? Is it in a paper pack? Is it in like a pack that has just all like one color? What brand of glitter cardstock are you using? Is it the one on the wall? at the craft stores. Well, I know Michael's has like, not Michael's, Joann's. Actually, no, I think Michael's has a wall of loose paper as well. Let's see. I've only used glitter once. So you don't know the brand that you're using? I brought some from a vinyl store, but it was terrible. That's why I'm debating. You brought it was terrible for what? The way, see, this is where like more questions come in, right? Like I'm not a mind reader, so I don't know what part was terrible. And you asked about two different things: cutting it to layer it, or versus like sublimating. So was it terrible with sublimating to it to where it kind of melted down? Was it terrible with like cutting it and layering it and trying to glue it to things? The thing that you are creating, is it like for a scrapbook? Is it a cupcake topper? Is it something that you need to glue on top of something else? Does it need to have dimensions and like there's a lot of questions to figure out what's going to be the best route. Like I'm sitting here looking at one that I got. I think this one came from Hobby Lobby. And so this is the one where it's like you can barely feel, like it's really, 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 really flat. It doesn't have the gloss over it, but it's a really thin paper. This kind, no. Like it has to be rough and not like super smooth. So like even with Recollections has one that is kind of like, it's really, really smooth. You feel like, it's not, how can I say, like, it doesn't feel like glitter. Like it's really, really flat, flat, flat. Those to me do not sublimate well. But then the other pack from Recollections from Michael's, like you can feel the roughness on it. It almost feels like this is not coarse. It's definitely not coarse, but the texture on it is different. If you go and you look at paper side by side, you'll know what I'm referring to when you see it. Now, if it's like all like completely raised up, that one doesn't. But there is one that it's really, really rough. And then there's one that's smooth in the Recollection brand. The one that's really, really, really smooth, that does not work well with sublimating on top of that. Okay, so that's totally different. Now, I really would have thought, because I've never really had when it comes to HTV, I've never really had one that, well, actually, you know what? No, I have. So there is like the fashion one. I know like Caesar has one, and that's the one that has like more of like the gloss to it. It's like it's fashion someone. But when it comes to like just your regular rainbow HTV, I use Caesar. So I thought you were talking about cardstock. If I'm being totally honest, the way you wrote it, this is why it's also important to be very specific. At no point up here did you say HTV. So I automatically assumed, oh wait, it does say glitter HTV. My bad. I didn't even see that was my bad. I did not see HTV. I overlooked that, and I actually have it on screen. So I just saw large and small flakes. So when it comes to HTV, I'm going to show okay, so you have Caesar, is it fashion glitter? I have my book. Let me see. I don't think it's called fashion glitter. My bad. That was my fault. I completely overlooked HTV. Okay, so like Econo Transfer, right? Their glitter HTV cannot be sublimated. It's about the adhesive that they have on the back. It like melts to the paper. It spews out everywhere. So when it comes to that, I will tell you the only brands that I have tested and I know for sure that they work would be Caesar brand, and then there's a brand that I get from Florida Flex here. It's like the generic like no name brand or whatever. I have not. Oh, I've also done Thermoflex. Thermoflex is an absolute hell's no. So Thermoflex is one of those ones to where it's just not meant for sublimation. It's kind of like, I think it's kind of like the Econo Transfer one. But Econo Transfer, you cannot sublimate to um their glitter HTV. Caesar one, all day, every day. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. 1000%. As far as like it being like a name brand that you can go and like request. Florida Flex does have another brand, and but it's like I said, well, another version, but it's like it just says like PU or whatever. It's not a name brand. But the look and feel of it is kind of like the Caesar one. The only difference is Caesar has very distinct lines that run through theirs, and the other one is like really like you don't see those like lines like you do with the Caesar brand. So when it comes to that, it's not a matter of it being small flakes versus large flakes, because Econo Transfers, when you're looking at it, it looks just like the Caesar one, but their adhesive on the back makes it where it doesn't work well for sublimating onto it, because it has to be pressed. Even with our paper being pressed at just 30 seconds and 365, that's still too long for a glitter HTV that's meant to be pressed at 300 degrees for like 10 seconds. So yeah, and that's not a matter of small flakes versus like being finer versus more coarse. It's about the vinyl. It's more, not even say the vinyl, it's more so like the adhesive that they use. And like for me, when you said terrible for cutting, I can't stand Thermoflex. Thermoflex glitter is the absolute worst. It rips apart, it tears apart. I absolutely despise Thermoflex's HTV. I want to say thank you for sharing your knowledge and expertise. You are so generous with time and knowledge. 2024 has been a challenging year for my family, but I'm determined to do better with putting myself out there and working on my business, not just crafting. Praying for blessings to you, your family, and business in 2025 in the future. Oh, thank you so much. And I will continue, because I trust me, I understand challenges. This has not been an easy year for us as well. So I will definitely, do the same and continue to keep you and your endeavors lifted up in prayer also. So yeah, I've never, okay, this is their regular adhesive one. Because they have one that's like, they have one that is like any of the regular Caesar glitter HTV, all of them work. Of course, when it comes to colors and when it comes to sublation, but they have one. I cannot think of the name of this glitter. It's not I don't know where in the heck is my Caesar book, but it's like almost like a clear gloss over it. It's called fashion, but maybe it's not that. But that kind you cannot submate to. It only comes in like gold and silver. It doesn't come in white. You can't submit to that one. But they're white, whether it's the white or the rainbow white. The rainbow white to me gives slightly better color payoff, but you never get any true white ears. So let's say like it was like the white of somebody's eyes or any ear that needs to be white, you're going to have that like pinkish rainbow color type look. I'm gonna say I am a Caesar girl. Back in the day, Cricket's HTV used to be Caesar. Like it was Caesar. They have since changed, like was kind of coming to their own, found like their own vendor. I've never used the recent versions of Cricket HTV. So I haven't used I've used theirs back in the day when they basically were just repackaging Caesar's vinyl. I can't speak to the quality of their vinyl now, but I can tell you Caesar works 1000%. It is excellent. That is one that I have tested. So if your question is to what have I used, or when you see me doing Summation to Glitter, the brand that I am using Caesar HTV and just about every last one of those videos. Other than the brand that I got from Florida Flex, but I don't think I've really, because you guys, most people won't probably order from them because they'll have to wait for it to ship and it's not like a known brand. I try not to do videos with that. So almost every time that you've seen me do a video and I've sublimated to glitter, it has been Caesar brand. Now, just kind of giving recommendations on a lot of like random brands, I can't do that. All right. So, I mean, we're already at 1:44. I will do another 20 minutes. So we'll take it to 2 hours and I'll get back to doing my work. And also, I got to change this. I got to figure out why my printer is not printing out purple because me going over it is not cute. I got to try and get back to work, watching The Rookie and getting back to work on all of these learning aids that I am creating for Zion Imani and other children. So we have a good 15 minutes left. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. So whatever questions you guys have, let's get them in. We have about 15 minutes left before I hop off. I'm going to try and come back later on this evening just for my official last live video of 2024. And then I will see you guys in the new year. Last call for questions. And this actually kind of brings me back. One of the things I'm always saying too is I like when people are very honest with the things that don't work and they kind of call it out and just kind of say, hey, what doesn't work for me? And they note the brand and they're really stating like why it doesn't work for them. Because I really believe that you learn more from the things that don't work versus just kind of always seeing like perfect videos and this is like the perfect setup, whatever. Like, I think you learn more from the things that just don't work well. And I think, what was it? I think you said debating on versus full on layering. I will not say that sublimating makes it easier, right? Depends on the design and how it's set up. Because I've had designs where it's different, like different parts of it have different colors. Well, getting that to line up perfectly can be a challenge in of itself. And sometimes I wish I would have just cut the vinyl down and just put them on the mat, cut it, weeded it, and then do it that way because I wouldn't have to worry about it. It is very stressful when you have it's not all just one like piece and things are kind of in different places and trying to put the print where it's not like off and stuff like that can be aggravating. As much as I love having rolls of vinyl, that's also a challenge, right? because it's not like little sheets that are kind of cute and like I can keep inside my little plastic boxes, pull that out, bring it to my my cutter, my paper trimmer, my paper cutter or vinyl trimmer, cut that down to like the size I need. I have to go and be very careful. I'm trying to hold on to this roll so it doesn't roll off my table, then hit the floor. Then I got to wound it back up. Then when I am done with it, I got to put a rubber band back on it. I got to take it. It can't fit in my workspace. I have to take it to the closet or take it to the garage where all the rolls are. There's a special place. Yes, it saves me like money over time, right? But dealing with rolls of vinyl is a pain in the ass. But at the time, I was doing so much like stuff with like cutting HTV, it made more sense for me to get the rolls of vinyl versus constantly buying sheets. But it's aggravating. Like it is totally and completely aggravating a lot of the times dealing with rolls of vinyl. So know that, you know, although I might go and you'll kind of seem like I'm doing certain things, I'm pulling out the roll of vinyl. It's not a thing to say, okay, well, you guys need to get rolls of like vinyl. There was a reason why I got those. And I can't always like fully explain it. People have been with me for a while. We'll see that there was a transition from just regular sheets to getting rolls, like the rolls that are just kind of rolled up without a cord to it, and then getting full on rolls that have a cord to it. How do you store them? I can't do like the little cutesy thing that people were doing with the trash bag holders and taking their little rolls of vinyl and rolling them up and putting them in there. One, I would never do that anyway because you're making it too tight. So now when you go to unroll it, it will kind of, you know, it stays curled, and that's aggravating. I could never do little walls of like vinyl and just be all cutesy and stuff. I got these humongous ass rolls with the freaking 3-4 inch core in the middle, and I have to think about storage for those. I had to go get a storage cabinet, and it was aggravating. And then smooth HTV comes in 15 inch, or you can go like to the longer ones, but then glitter comes in 20 inches. So trying to figure out the right storage and put it was aggravating. And then the adhesive vinyl, they don't really sell 12-inch rolls. It really comes as a 24-inch. So am I dealing with 24 inches or I have to, man, I'm telling y'all, when you're limited on space, having all of this stuff that you think is going to make your life easier makes your life a living hell. Yes, colors. I recall you saying cut the vinyl where it should be within the design to make it easier. Bump conserving. Baby, hello. When it's about like efficiency, I'm not trying to put everything all up in like a little corner and stuff like that. Like all that vinyl, yep, it's going in the trash because I'm charging you for it anyway. Even if I wasn't charging for it, for my sanity, I would be. Only time that I normally do that is if like I'm really, really like low on vinyl, like I don't really have like a full piece and I got a couple scraps. Okay, let me figure out how to use this because it's like my last little piece. But if I can put it with and not be piece all that stuff together, baby, all day, every day, I'm throwing it in the trash. Thank you for all you do in sacrifice and the sacrifice you have made for us this year. I pray you become a household name for everything silhouette. Well, I used to want that. As much as I try to push silhouette, not just say the machines, but even just the program. It's so many. It's the. I really feel like the window for that is kind of like passing by. Because the people who normally find me are not looking to really become graphic designers. They like AI and they just want to kind of do some AI stuff. I'm noticing the trend where people more so want to just buy templates. I'm not a template maker. Could I just switch over to doing templates or selling transfers? I could, and that would be a way for me to make money, but it wasn't what I set out to do in business. if I'm not going to do, or I'm not able to do what I set out for my business to be, I will go work for someone else before I do this weird transition that I know that I'm going to absolutely hate. So, although I enjoy teaching people silhouette, and I'm not going to say that I don't enjoy teaching people silhouette, I enjoy teaching people design and how to put things together. I choose to use Silhouette Studio because you can take what you learned here and apply it to more robust programs like Photoshop or Illustrator. Because I like teaching design, but I am finding more and more people with the onset of Canva and it being more, now it's more than just the platform to create really cool Instagram posts and Instagram reels and things of that nature. It's growing and people want to kind of create everything on that platform. And because it has so many elements, people don't want to take the time to truly learn about designing. They just kind of want to plug and play. That's not, I when I did the focus blueprint and I really wrote out who I want to serve, the people that want to do plug and play were not a part of my vision. I know that it's going to be harder to find people who truly want to learn how to create designs and put them together. They're not looking for someone who's like, oh yeah, hey, I did the AI work and I put together this design. I have all these templates available that already have Mickey Mouse and Spider-Man and SpongeBob and Twitch and Stitch and sports teams. Like, there are some people, they come on these platforms, they're just looking for a design. Who has this? I still want the people who can show me how to create this. Those are the posts that I'm looking for, not just the where can I find this file type people. And I really feel like it's less and less of the people that truly want to learn. So while I love it and I will continue to use it, like I'll just share with you just a little bit. Let me see, which one do I want to do? I mean, even in my focus blueprint, like the cover for that, it's going to take a while for it to open up because it's on my cloud drive. But all the stuff that I'm creating for like my son's workbook to help him with like letters and numbers and words and all those different things, like I created those things, the base of it in Silhouette Studio. So I'm still one where I want to be able to arrange things, have full control over how things look, the layout of it. A lot of people don't want that. So as much as I've tried for past 10 years, I don't know if I want to be the household name for Silhouette because the machine isn't as popular as Cricut, no matter how much print and cut stuff I've done. And on the design side of it, people rather learn programs they can do from their phone or from their iPad. People, well, who I come in contact with, in order for me to reach the audience that I want, I literally would have to almost abandon everything that I've done so far and create content with messaging that's going to attract the people that want to learn how to design. And that's the part that's hard for me, is feel like I'm about to abandon 11 years of work. It's space. I went from 6,000 square foot store to my 4,000 square foot house. Now I'm in 1,300 square foot, my 2 spare rooms, living room and garage. I think I'm going to quit every single day. Well, that's because you're trying to do too much. There's a way to make money in smaller spaces. But if you're trying to do what you did in 6,000 square feet in only 1,300 square feet, yeah, you're gonna just be all over your like. And if you don't want to give up rooms and you want to have your living room back or you want to have your garage back, and that's the part that's on your mind, yes, you're going to want to give up every single day because you're probably also still adding more and more stuff to it instead of clearing out what's there. If you cannot make money on what you already have, adding to it is not going to make it any better. It's not going to add, it's not going to make it any better. So you have to figure out, like for me, I like shirts, but I don't care to, like, I'm not always wanting to do shirts. I have all this inventory and I'm just like, I'm just not into doing shirts like that. So right now I'm working on a plan to either sell off like a lot of the summation shirts that we have, but then I'm a little bit worried because I don't want people to come to our website and think, oh my God, she's going to sell summation shirts. No, I just want to get rid of the cases that we have. I want to get rid of some of these other shirts, like, because I'm always, of course, buying extra. I want to get rid of it to free up my garage for other things, but I have all this inventory here. I'm telling y'all, focus, focus, focus. Decluttering for me is not just, oh, the things that I like, oh, this is trash, whatever. Like, no, the things that do not align with my goal, with my purpose for this year, I am getting rid of it. Whether it is like if you get my focus blueprint, I break the decluttering process up into several categories. Things that you're going to keep because they align with your goals and you're going to utilize them. You have things that you can sell where it's like, okay, I'm not using this piece of equipment. Let me go ahead and sell it. I have not used this in 3 years. I can't keep saying, oh, I'm one day. If I haven't used this in 2-3 years, I need to sell this piece of equipment. Somebody can use it. If it is clothing, or like I said, like my inventory of shirts, let me just sell these off. Who cares if I make a profit from it? It's not making me a profit now. So even if I were to just to sell it to maybe $1, 50 cents more than what I paid for it, at least I'm now recovering that money, because of right now it's money that has gone out and there has not been a return on it. That is the mindset that you have to have in business. Being willing to let things go, even if it's not at a profit. Get your money back. Get your money back. So I have that where it's broken into the sale. Then you have things that you're going to donate. Like, and donating, it can help you because you donate certain creative things to, whether it's like to a school or to a church or to, whoever, whatever. With that, okay, well, why do you have this? Okay, well, you can explain a little bit. Well, we are not doing this. We're focusing on X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? They might need that X, Y, and Z. This is how you make new connections and get new prospects for your business. You cannot just rely on social media. You got to almost go back to the door-to-door salesman type deal. Like, people need to see you. You need to communicate with people. Oh, wait till some of y'all finna get some stuff. And y'all are going to see how social media is cool, but there are other ways that you can kind of reach people. And I'm kind of going old school with certain things. So there is keep, sell, donate, trash, right? Things that, look, throw that stuff away. Okay. I have balloons. Oh, that was one of the first things that had to go. When I was, as me being an event planner, and it's like I'm doing events like here and there, stuff like that. I have so many balloons that are just dry rot. Like, they will not blow up. They're gonna burst. They're sticking together. Shakia, get these damn balloons out of here. So, I mean, the amount of balloons that I threw away, OM freaking G. Oh, wow. I mean, it was a lot of stuff. Like, I had a lot of like old spray paints, everything, like just like it's a lot of little things. I'm like, I'm not going to, and the reason why I don't do de-stash, right? I don't believe in making my trash somebody else's problem. And a lot of times when you have the de-stash groups or people, oh, you have the, oh yeah, I want it. They don't really have a plan for how they're going to use it. You're going to get rid of it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I might use it. No. So that's why how I have mine broken up, it's either like, I don't believe in like the whole like de-stash. Those who are looking for it, how to find the people who are looking for, okay, maybe they want it at like a discounted rate or whatever. This is something that they needed or whatever. They're just starting out. But I don't really do the whole de-stash and like just basically putting stuff out there. People get it with no purpose in mind. So that's why mine are broken up. But balloons and crystals and a lot of like plastic plate stuff I had, all kind of stuff, like just getting rid of a lot of that junk. And I was okay with putting it in the trash because it would have taken me more effort, like something like that. The amount of effort to find someone to sell that to would have been too much. So it's better to just trash it because I'm going to keep it. Oh, yeah, I'll donate it or I'll sell it. Who are you going to sell it to? If you don't already know who you're going to donate it to, sell it to, it's going to take up more of your time trying to figure that out. Absolutely. And these are the things, when I say it's a support group for this, that is what that is for. For me talking to you, for you to know that it's okay to trash it. We've wasted plenty of money. It's like you'll go, you buy food. It's sitting there, it's frostbitten. When it's frostbitten, you're not going to put that in your body. You're going to do what? You're going to throw it away because you're thinking about it making you sick. Well, guess what? Holding on to craft supplies that no longer serve you can make you sick as well. You're going to be sick and tired of looking at it. It's going to affect you and you feel like a failure because you see these things that have not moved. Get them out of your sight, out of mind. Get them out of your space. When I say, that's why I say it's not a class, it is a support group, but you have to be willing to someone being really, really harsh and open with you. That doesn't serve you. If you go and you talk to me about what your plans are, what your goals are, but you're still trying to hold on to some deco mesh, you're never going to succeed. You're never going to. Because you're telling me what your goals are, but you're wanting to hold on to something that's not going to serve you. But you would not do that if it was food that was frostbitten in your freezer. You're going to throw it out so that you don't get sick. And then the last part of it is clearance things. Okay, what's something that I have? Okay, I want to maybe combine like some shirts. I have this design. Is this design on this shirt? I only have this shirt in a large with this design on it, especially for you guys that go and buy all of those transfers, the DTF transfers and screen print transfers. Okay, I have this shirt, this transfer. They come together. Who wants, like, this is for this is for this amount. Nope, I don't have it in small. Nope, I don't have it in pink. Nope, I have this in this size, in this color with this design, and you can sell it at clearance. Like, so I have it broken up into those things, identifying what you're going to keep so that you can use to reach your goals. What are you going to sell? Just getting rid of it. It no longer aligns with it. Somebody else can use it. I'm selling it at a discounted rate. I'm not trying to get full price for it. What are you going to donate? What are you going to trash? And what can you clearance? 5 different categories fall under this decluttering in my focus blueprint. And it is outlined in it for you, like what each one of these categories are. And I have a way, like it's a spreadsheet. It's going to make your life so much easier. You probably have things that you did not know because you don't want to go through it. When you go through my focus blueprint, the way that it's going to seem like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I didn't do all this work. I didn't have to pull a bunch of stuff out. The way that I break it down for decluttering is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Let's see. She says, I have cartons of HTV. I'm a stalker. I'm in the right place. The thing Sil can do is amazing. I need to hear that. That's where I'm at, trying to find out what I can do in a small space due to some family having some issues. Decluttering. Yes, I appreciated the silhouette class and text effects. I use some Canva things, but always find myself adding text and silhouette. Thank you so much. Me too. So I designed this here, but then I had to take it over to Canva to put with the rest of the PDF file. I got rid of a ton of stuff taking up space. This was meant for me to hear today. Thank you. You are very welcome. Sound like you've been looking at my basement. A family member tried to get me to have a yard sale, but it was so overwhelming. I just said, come pick it up. Come pick it up and go. Okay. Team Too Much. I donated many school things to teacher schools, but otherwise, goodbye. And even with that, like yard sales, where's your house? Like that takes work. In order for a yard sale to be successful, if you're looking at like, have you walked your neighborhood? Do you know who lives in your neighborhood? Is it a lot of foot traffic? Is it people kind of like driving by? Back in the day, people used to have yard sales. They would put it in the newspaper. Are you willing to do that? To say we have these things? Is it a yard sale that's just for crafters? Is like a lot of stuff that people would actually really want? Is it clothes and stuff? Like what all is in this whole stuff yard sale? Are you willing to put forth the work? Yard sales are not just, okay, let's go out here and just put it out there. How many tables do you have? Do you now have to think about tables and stands so people can see it? Are you going to have it in bins? Are you going to go through it and put a price on it? Or are you just going to let them come and just say, okay, hey, I mean, you know, this is a pick it. Tell me what price you want. That requires a lot of brain. Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, at least I don't. I ain't got time for no yard sale. I don't have time for it. I just purchased the workbook. Awesome. You will get access to the first 2 parts because I want you to do the work. The self-assessment, there's 3 parts to the self-assessment. The first one is, I think, like 9. Well, there is first the checklist to make sure it's like, I think it's like 9 questions. The define your why, I want to say it's like maybe 6 questions. The focus block is where the majority of like the questions kind of come in at. And then who is it, deciding who you want to serve. I think that's like around like 8 questions somewhere in there. It's important that you go through that, right? And when I outline the way that you go through it, it's not just a bunch of writing. Like you can write it, but it's not just a bunch of writing. It's set up in a way where it's not going to be overwhelming, right? So you have that part. I encourage you to go through that. And if there's questions, like once I have the session for the, at the top, it's going to be in 2025. We're going to go through it. And I'm just going to kind of go like, don't rush the process. If you have to skip over questions, that's fine. Because you're like, man, I don't know. Maybe answering another question will help you come back to a different one. But the way in which it's set up, it's not going to be this pressure to do it all at once. And then that decluttering one, I'm sorry, like, I had to do it and it was absolutely amazing. Like for me, I discovered like this because of something else that I was doing. I was like, yo, let me try. And I did it. And I was like, this is absolutely freaking dope. Oh, with the deco mesh. Yeah, child plus me and wreaths will never happen. I don't even like the way those wreaths look. So I don't even know why I brought the stuff trying to teach it. I just brought it. Now I'm about to go print it. I still didn't get the code to buy the blueprint. Yeah, I've been kind of like off. So, I mean, you can always, like I said, you can get access to it, pay the $13.65. The code will probably only work for, you know, if you get the code like that and the book. I haven't, because before the way the prices and things, you know, were, so I have to kind of recreate the code for Creative Lounge for like all the other stuff because that's not considered to be a class. So you have to give me a minute. I really have been working. You guys have maybe seen me post on social media. I've been working on some things like my focus blueprint, my things for Zip Learning Code. I've been working on those, but I've technically been off. To know me is to know that I normally take this time off. My kids are out of school. I'm not doing classes. I'm not really doing live videos because I like to be present for Christmas and like all that stuff with the kids. But I do always try to come live like the last day of the year, like just kind of, you know, wrap up the year. You can always send it to Cash App, HS Inc. 365. So that's always a good place to kind of send it because, baby, I tap at Wawa's. She said, I will never do another yard sale. I just moved, threw away everything. It was too hard to even donate. They don't pick up. Oh, it was so sad. Yeah. So I'm saying sometimes people say they want it, but they don't create the time to come pick things up and they don't understand time crunches. So that can be an issue too. That's why, like, when it comes to donating, you can have people come pick it up, but I like things where I'm already kind of planning out, I'm going to donate this. And that's why being very intentional. Who are you going to donate it to? That way you can go and like literally drop these things off. Like, I think I had, I made a post and I was like, I have some glue sticks here because I will never use them. I don't believe, like, I am a person that believes, um, all items are not created equal. Glue sticks are not created equal. I don't like these types of glue sticks. It's not my preference. I don't like all those strings. Who want these glue sticks? Okay, come get them. Anybody that was in South Florida, if you were to text me and say, hey, I want them, I will hold them for you. You can come get them. I'm not ship. Someone's like, oh, well, I'll buy them. Who finna put it on my website for y'all to go and get those? Or when it came to or there's something like, oh, well, send me an invoice for them. Who? Not I said the cat. But if you would have ordered something and said, hey, I'll take some of the glue sticks, I would have had even put them in there. But I was not about to spend my time creating an invoice for it. I was not about to create a listing for no darn glue sticks, and I was not about to deliver them. If you wanted them, you can come get them. Like, that is what I mean by like being very, very specific and not wavering on it. It was a bunch of people. Oh, I'll take them. Just send me an invoice for them, like for shipping. That requires work on my part. So you want me to go do work to create a shipping invoice for you for something that you're going to get for free? I'm sorry, I don't work for free. Like I said, if people place an order and they place an order for paper, for ink, and it was a box that was big enough for that to go in, hey, and you put a note on there, even when you make this one, throw a couple of these glue sticks in there for them, whatever, and I left it open for people to come get. But I wasn't going to make more work like for myself. Not gonna happen, Captain. So when it comes to you with that, like, or for anyone, if you're going to donate, if you are very intentional about who you are going to donate to and how that donation process. See, that's the problem. Sometimes we have these ideas, but we don't think about the execution of it. Okay, yep, I want to donate like all this stuff. Okay, how are you going to do? How are you going to go about it? Who's it going to go to? Are you going to deliver it to them? Do they have to come pick it up? What's that process going to be? So you can't just have that one thought. Are you actually taking the time to think out the entire process? If not, then it's just an idea. It's not something that you're going to be able to take real action on. I purchased it last week when I first heard you speak about it. I love crafting, but I'm not organized. I brought everything I saw someone using. I can't even walk in my craft room now to start anything. That's the case for a lot of people. Yes, HSINK365. So yeah, the $, you can send it through Cash App. If you want to do PayPal, it's just silaholics@gmail.com. I don't care where it goes anymore. Just want them out of my space. No more clutter. So would the code apply to everything? If not, I would just get it workbook. So like I said, I have not set that because that's a different one. Like, it's not really a sublimation like product and things like that. It's not really a class. So that was one where I have to kind of go in there. The workbook itself is only $13.65, so it probably won't apply to just that. It's just the code will most likely be like to be able to have access to that support group part of it. Because that's a much higher amount to where you can have access to that community. But if you're looking for just the workbook, the code most likely won't apply to that because it's only $13.65 for the book. Well, for the digital download. I'm in the process of going through your end of year summation crash course. It is so very detailed. I'm very detailed in everything. But thank you for that. Like, I try to be, and it's a blessing and a curse because some people don't like the amount of detail that's in it. They think a lot of this stuff, because of how people present it online, that it's just kind of cut and dry. And there's so much more to it. My summation seminar, which was there's like 6 days for that one. Now that one has even more detail in it. I mean, I even broke down, like fully broke down heat press. We had a whole day where I talked about heat presses so that people can be really educated in the choice that they made for a heat press. So I'm always like very, 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 very detailed. The problem is for me finding the audience that really appreciates detail. I am finding myself standing in the middle of an industry that just kind of wants hurry up, hurry up and produce type results, and they just want someone to give them like, okay, I ain't got time for all that, tell me exactly what it is, give me the exact answer. When I need the other stuff, I'll come back for it. And that's where I'm at a crossroads now, because that's not how I really operate. I like the detailed stuff. This is also years and years of information, and I feel like a lot of people now kind of want me to figure out a way to put 26 years of experience testing, researching, trial and error in a 15-minute video, and that's just not possible. Aw, thank you. I really, if you know, don't, if whether you know it or not, like even if it's like, when people watch these, even if it was like $1, $2, like when you have 30,000 people, 100 people, like even if like 100 people were to send $1, like it's not a lot from someone. Hell, even 50 cents, that makes $50 to go on and pour into people for 2 hours, like for free. Every time you do that, Don, like I will say you and maybe like two other people really, really make it to where I come on here, because I do cry sometimes. I'm like, I'm giving my all, and it's like not sometimes seeing the return, or just seeing that appreciation. And it's like, people come on. That's why I kind of started doing like the 30-minute live. I'm like, well, at least I'll get paid for my time to be able to answer all of their questions instead of just being on here for like 2 hours and get paid nothing. If I was on for 2 hours and I was on 30-minute blocks, it was like $10 a piece. So even if I made $40 for that 2 hours, at least I made something, right? That's one of the reasons why I did it. But I know it's people that also can't really, like, they may not be in a financial position right now to be able to pay for a subscription like Creative Lounge, or to even pay for a full $50, $53 like one-on-one session. So I end up doing it, that way. And although I enjoy it, like I did like them, I like being able, like people came with specific questions. It was the days where I have the block open from 11 to 1. Someone books at 11, 11:30. The next booking isn't until 1. So now I'm literally just sitting there. And I'm not, trust and believe, I'm not answering no questions. If nobody booked that segment, I'm not answering questions. So it's like me kind of just like sitting there and on like, it's just dead air while I'm trying to work on something else, waiting for the person that booked at 1. I have to figure out a better logistics for that. It may have to be where, like I put in the notes, you have to book the next available one, just something to where I'm not just sitting there for an hour waiting for the next person to kind of come on. But people like you make me still kind of show up, because, you do show your appreciation. This is what I purchased. Is this right? The Focus Blueprint workbook, and physical copy. So yes. So the physical copy, it will be a while before that comes out. And that's just like, I know like Aquisha said, she's going to get hers and she's going to print it out. Right. The physical, and then on there, well, actually I posted it on the Facebook post. I haven't had a chance to go back and update the description on it. I figured most people got there from a Facebook post, and the post stated that the physical copy would not be shipped out until kind of like end of January, because I'm dropping it little by little. So you'll have access to the digital copy. You can go to your dashboard, you can download like that first part of it and just kind of go through it. The way that it is set up, you really don't have to print it out because of the instructions that comes with it, right? You don't have to. Now, when you want to, if you decide that you want to write out, which we do encourage, like kind of writing it out once you do the first part of it, you can print out the physical parts of it, like that allows you to like write in it, unless you have like some people write digitally. MJ just got an iPad and an Apple Pencil so that he can write on stuff, with quick note. Was it Good Notes or something like that or whatever? So some people choose to write everything digitally. But the workbook will have, like, the physical one is going to have a few additional things that won't be in the digital like version. So it's going to have a little bit of like extra in it, but that won't be shipped because they aren't they have not been produced yet. So it won't be shipped just yet. You will go to your dashboard because right now it is stored for everybody right now on the dashboard. So you will go there to get to do the download, start the process that's outlined there. And if you need to print out the sheets at the end because you want to write it out, you can just print out that part. You don't have to waste paper and print out all of it. The way that I set it up, you really, really don't have to print it all out. But yeah, so that one you have access immediately to the digital version, and the physical one, it will be probably closer to the end of January when those will start to roll out because they have to be produced. Aw, thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Please put Cash App. I think you'll I said, oh, thank you so much. Let me see. Is it over here? It is. I gotta reorganize. I gotta go through and reorganize all of my banners because some of these I really don't need anymore. And it makes it a longer process to find the ones that I do need. There we go. There's so many of these that I need to get rid of. So yeah. All right, y'all. We are now at 2 hours and 25 minutes. So it's time for me to hop off. It's not on the main page of the website. It came from like Facebook posts I made, but if you're watching from YouTube, if you go and you just type in oh, see, I have to change that because most people aren't going to think to type in f.o. I have to go in and change that. But if you would like the focus blueprint, there are, like someone say, there's a couple of options. There's the workbook only. There's a workbook in the physical copy to where we will, because you're going to pay for shipping, we will send it out. And then we will end up emailing because I'm going to have a general one. And that's the reason why the first run of this is kind of like here. But I'm going to take, on my system on the back end, it separates all 3 things. Like it separates it into different flows. And those who have signed up for the support and accountability, it's going to eventually send you emails with links and stuff like that to be able to be in that support group, an accountability group for it. So that part is gonna come in 2025. But you sign up for this and it will give you access to the the digital version of it. And there is, like I said, there is a compatibility checklist to see, hey, do you really need this? There is the self-assessment, define your why, discovering your focus blocks, and deciding who you want to serve. That's in your assessment. It's 3 parts. And then we go to the decluttering. There is a framework that I have created. It is all my brainchild in how I recommend that you go about the decluttering process. And then there is a spreadsheet that is available. And oh, wait, did I put the digital version? I got to do the link for the spreadsheet, the download for that one. And you'll be able to fill that in and digitally categorize in the 5 different categories when you're going through your decluttering process. And then I'm going to release the goal segmentation part, but I didn't want to release that. I'm not going to release that until after the first live Zoom, because you have to understand the importance of doing the first part of it first before you get into goal segmentation. So I know, I mean, my mom says that to put my Cash App on every single live video. Once someone asks for it, I put it up. I don't lead with it. I don't have Venmo. We only have Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. So yeah. Yep. And paper, today is the last day for the BOGO buy one, get one 90% off, but it's only on 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper. Okay. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. Oh, I said I was gonna show you guys. So I am working on some things. Some of you guys have seen my son's like character. I'll play this. So I'm working on a lot of resources. I have a son that has epilepsy. His epilepsy affects the things that he retains it and how he retains it. So I'm working on this system that I've already been testing on him, my niece, some other people. Like I told y'all, like in everything, not just in crafting stuff, I do beta testing and I have people like try it out. Some people have seen the YouTube link. They've had their kids follow along with it, where I'm going through the words and stuff with them. I've been recording the ones for the numbers and stuff like that. So there is a unique way that I'm creating like this curriculum. So I've been working on this for a while. Like you see how that comes up, like Canva is a great resource, but I just don't use Canva like everybody else. Like doing this whole thing and it bringing the words up and it's showing it letter by letter. Then I have to record the voiceover for it and doing all of these. All of this was created in Canva. Canva, don't get me wrong, it's a really, really powerful design aid. I have a lot of different design programs, and I will say that for this, Canva was the better program to create this part of the setup. So I do use it. I just can't, I don't use it how you guys are. So I can never do a class showing you how to make the custom tray tables, with Canva. I'm not going to do a Canva class on how to make an obituary in Canva. I use Silhouette Studio and Photoshop. So although I won't be able to do that, I do have a Canva class that goes over understanding it so that you can create whatever you want. I'm just not going to have dedicated classes that's about creating flyers or creating chip bags and things like that. I'm just going to show you how to use Canva. How you use it is up to you. So the Zelle is you can do our business phone number and our email address. I believe our email, our hsinc365.com goes to that one, or our business number 754-333-0335. Any of those will get you to our Zelle account. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been, like one of the things that I've been working. It's a whole lot of stuff that I've been working on, but this is just a small portion of it. And this helped me lock in to create this. Some of you got like, and this has been the making for a long time, because we went on tour, in July? When did we go? When did I go to Atlanta? Whenever it was that I went to, because I think it was to pick my niece up. So, at the end of July, I think, or August, somewhere like before the beginning of like the school year, they saw the version of him with like his hat on. And some of you guys saw when I was live and I created this Silhouette Studio. He was created in Silhouette Studio. And so, like I said, it's just a process of it. Can I teach this? I will, but it's not something that I will do like if I'm going to teach this, it's going to be for those where this is a part of their goals. Like they're looking to create educational content and videos and things like that. So it won't be something that I just kind of teach like in general. It is going to be for those who specifically, like that is their desire, is to create these different learning things. So it won't be something I just kind of teach like, oh, just say, hey, this is how you learn Canva. No, I won't be doing that. I will only be teaching it to those who, well, hopefully the people that sign up for that training, that course, will be those where this aligns directly with their goals and not just, oh, I just want to learn just to learn Canva. All right, y'all. Until next time, though, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. I should be back. I should be on tonight. If not, I will see you guys in the new year. Okay? Peace.